The 16th of September, Rabbi Levitt, Nehemia.
Okay, we started yesterday Perek Ches, and we did Pasuk Aleph. So now we are up to Pasuk Beis. Zrat Hashem. So we call upon Meir to lead off the reading for today.
Very good. It says, "Vayavi Ezra HaKohen et HaTorah lifnei HaKahal me'ish bi'ad isha v'chol mevin lishmoa b'yom echad lachodesh hashvi'i." So Ezra, the Kohen, brought the Torah before the congregation, men and women, and all those who could listen with understanding on the first day of the 7th month. Sounds like Rosh Hashanah.
Yom Echad L'Chodesh Hashvi, right? That'll be Rosh Hashanah.
Okay, let's see what our comments have to say. It says Ezra HaKohen. Ezra was the uncle of the Kohen Gadol, Jeshua, son of Yosadok. According to Rambam, Ezra himself eventually served as Kohen Gadol just before Shimon HaTzadik. HaTorah, the Torah. Malbim notes that our verse mentions the Torah, whereas verse 8, that they read from the scroll. Oh. The word scroll is deleted from our verse to suggest that Ezra also taught the people the oral law, Torah Sheba'al Peh, which was not codified and committed to writing until the Mishnah was compiled more than a century after the Second Temple's destruction. Me'ish v'ad isha, men and women, literally from man until woman. This is a figure of speech, meaning all the people. And that's a mitsudo. In Malbim's opinion, this refers to those who were not well educated. For them, the more easily understood written Torah was read. V'chol mevin lishmoa, and all those who could listen with understanding. This refers to those who understood more deeply the oral law, Torah Sheba'al Peh, with its profundities, was recited, Malbim. According to Ralbag, however, our phrase refers to the young children who are also brought to listen to the reading of the Torah, provided that they were mature enough to listen with understanding. Similarly, the Torah commands all people, including the children, to gather at the temple every 7th year, Heichal, to listen to the words of the Torah. That's from Devarim. The Gur Aryeh there explains that the mitzvah was to bring those children old enough to understand. B'yom echad l'chodesh hashvi'i. On the first day of the 7th month, the month of Tishrei, Rosh Hashanah, falls on the first day of this month, Rosh Matsudo. Although it was the first day of Tishrei, it was the second day of Rosh Hashanah. The source in Beitzah.
Well, that's interesting. Oh, that's the Gemara Beis over there. Explains what's that all about. Okay, very good. Okay, so Lou, would you like to do Pasuk Gimel?
I would love to.
Hey,
Kra vo livnei harachov asher livnei sha'ar ha-mayim min ha'or ad machatzis hayom neged ha'anashim v'hanashim v'hamevinim v'aznei chol ha'am el safek, I'm sorry, Sefer HaTorah. So let's see. 4. Ezra the scholar stood on a wooden tower that they had made for the purpose. Next to him stood Matisiah, as well as Shema, Anaya, Uriah, Hilkiah, and Messiah on his right, and on his left, Pedaiah, Mishael, Malchijan, Hashum, Hashbadana, Zechariah, Meshulam.
Wow.
okay.
So commentary says that they had made for the purpose. The tower was erected especially for Ezra's Torah reading, according to Rashi and Mitsudos. Next to him stood,
Oh.
Rambam points out that the public reading of the Torah may take place only before a quorum, i.e. a minyan, of 10 Jewish men. See the Shulchan Aruch and Orach Chaim. Standing in the area where the reading takes place. The raised platform upon which Ezra stood constituted a separate domain, reshus, from the surrounding courtyard. Therefore, it was necessary for those listed in this verse to stand on the platform with Ezra, so that there might be a in the immediate area of the Torah reading. Orach Chaim asserts that when the reading takes place before a minyan, then all others listening, even those standing in a totally different domain, are credited with the mitzvah of having heard the reading. Thus, all of those standing in the courtyard were credited with the reading, since a minyan stood with Ezra on the platform. Orach Chaim rules that a raised platform within a synagogue does not constitute a separate domain, in conflict apparently with Rambam. Biur Halacha there, however, cites differing opinions who require, like Rambam, that the minions stand on the platform. Zechariah Meshulam. The Talmud in Megillah asserts that both names refer to the same person. His name was actually Zechariah, but he was given the added name Meshulam, meaning complete or perfect, because of his completeness and perfection in carrying out good deeds. The Talmud's interpretation is evidently derived from the fact that the other names in the passage begin with the prefix vav, and Matitiah, and Shema, and Anaya, etc. However, there is no and between Zechariah and Meshulam, indicating that Zechariah and Meshulam are the same person, according to Maharasha. Based on this interpretation, the Talmud notes that Ezra was flanked by 6 men on each side, corresponding to the 6 men that the rabbis required to be called up to the Torah on Yom Kippur. The connection with Yom Kippur is based evidently on the profound repentance experienced by the people as an outgrowth of the reading, comparable to repentance on the Day of Atonement. Malbim questions the assumption that Zechariah and Meshulam are the same person, citing Ezra 8:16 to Zechariah and to Meshulam as an indication that the names refer to different people. This may be answered with the assumption that the Zechariah and Meshulam mentioned in Ezra are not to be identified as the Zechariah Meshulam of our verse. This is particularly valid according to the commentators who assert that Ezra's reading here occurred after the 20th year of Darius' reign, whereas the incident in the book of Ezra took place in the 7th year of his reign. See the commentary to 722 and 8:1.
Okay. Okay, so I think we need to read Pasuk Gimel.
We missed Gimel? I thought I read Gimel, no?
No, I read Gimel.
Oh, right. Yeah, you read Gimel.
Yeah,
But
we
who
talked
read
about
base?
the tower being erected. Oh, hold it. Maybe you're right.
I think Mayor read base and Lou read Dalid.
Oh, well, maybe you're right then. We started with base, and that's what I read.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I'm reading it now. It doesn't seem, it doesn't,
Doesn't
I
ring
don't
a
remember
bell.
reading it before.
Okay, so who wants to read Pasuk Gimel?
Well, I guess
Here.
no, I'll read it. Let's see. Okay. Vaykravo lifnei harachov asher lifnei sha'ar hamayim min ha'or ad machatzit hayom neged hanashim hanashim v'hamevinim v'oznei kol ha'am el sefer haTorah. So he read from it before the plaza, that is before the Watergate, from the first light until midday, in front of the common men and women and those who understood. And the ears of all the people were attentive to the Torah scroll. Okay. Lifnei Hirhov Asher Lifnei Shar Mayim, before the plaza that is before the Watergate. The Talmud, both in Yom and Sota, quotes 2 opinions concerning the site of the reading. One opinion identifies the site as the outer courtyard of the temple, Ezrat Nashim. According to the second, the location was on the Temple Mount, but outside the temple grounds. And Minha Or, from the first light, Ezra began reading his Torah with the first light of day. And Ad Machsit Hayom, until midday.
Wow.
He kept going and going and going, I guess. Huh? Okay. The reading of the Torah on Rosh Hashanah from dawn until midday teaches that the first half of a festival should be devoted to spiritual fulfillment of Torah study. Okay. Explains that the first half of the day is spent in prayer as well as study. The rest of the day should be set aside for the mitzvah of rejoicing and partaking of food and drink. That's from Beta. It is also an obligation to supply the poor with food so that they too may rejoice.
Wow. But if they read the Torah from dawn until midday, so when did they have time to daven?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Mishnah Berurah says that the first half of the day is spent in prayer as well as study. I don't know.
Also, if they took half the day just to read the Torah, I wonder if that means they read the whole Torah scroll.
Yeah, that's a good question. What exactly took them so long?
Because I know the reading on Rosh Hashanah is not that long.
Yeah. They took longer than we take because they had a maturgaman. They had someone there
Translate?
to translate the psukim. But still, okay, interesting. Okay, very good. Very good. So that's Chetzi Lashem and Chetzi Lachem. Half for Hashem and half for you. And the first half is in Torah study. We see over here, and the Mishnah Berurah says as well in the prayer. Although we don't see exactly where they did that, but okay. But this reminds me of a famous story with Rav Simcha Wasserman Zatzal. I don't know where he was, whether he was already in Los Angeles, but there was he was involved with a day school for young children, I believe, and they used to have the Mudei Kodesh, the Torah subjects in the morning, but they would have the other subjects in the afternoon. So one of the parents said to Rav Simcha, he says, Rabbi, I don't understand why you have to have the Torah subjects before the more important subjects of math and English and grammar and the three R's, whatever he said over there. And Rav Simcha is listening to him patiently. And then when he finishes his drasha, Rav Simcha says, I agree with you 100%. You don't understand why we have to have Torah before we have the secular subjects. Probably told you that story before. Okay. Oh, we still have some time. Wow, look at that. Okay, Baruch Hashem. So let's do another pasuk. Now we're going to do pasuk Hey, right?
That is correct.
Pasuk Hey. Wow. That must have been quite a Rosh Hashanah. Oh, what I was wondering was, is this Zechariah the Navi? Or is just some other person who's also named Zechariah, and actually is also named Zechariah Meshulam, according to the Gemara? Because we didn't hear that Zechariah has two names. Zechariah in the Treyasar.
Right.
Okay. Okay, Lou, please. The next pasuk. The next pasuk is pasuk Hey, verse 5.
Vayiftach Ezra hasefer le'enei kol ha'am he me'al kol ha'am haya uchefis cho amdu kol ha'am. Ezra opened the scroll before the eyes of all the people, for he was above all the people. And when he opened it, all the people stood silent. For he was above all the people. Since he stood on the platform higher than the people, all were able to see him, according to Rashi and Mitsudos. All the people stood silent. When Ezra opened the Torah scroll to begin reading, all were silent. All according to Rashi, Ibn Ezra, Mitsudos, and CEO, or stood motionless, according to Rabag. According to one Talmudic opinion in Sota, this verse is the source of the requirement that the congregation remain silent during the Torah reading in the synagogue. See Shulchan Aruch Chaim 146-2. Ibn Ezra, in an alternate interpretation, translates all the people stood, explaining that they rose in honor of the Torah reading in accordance with the statement in the Talmud, Megillah, from the days of Moshe until Rabban Gamliel, Torah was studied only while standing.
Wow.
Aruch Chaim rules that the congregation is not required to stand during the reading of the Torah scroll. Ramah there, however, cites a dissenting opinion, requiring that the people stand. See Mishnah Brura 19 there.
Oh boy. Look at all the halachas we're learning from Kriyas Torah, from this Ezra.
Yeah.
So I was also going to. Do you have a like when you read in the shul, you have like a raised platform that the Balkori reads from?
That's a good question.
Not in the shul I go to here, but in America we did.
Yeah, me too.
Because I'm now referring to what we said in the Pasuk Daled. They had a nice article had a very nice uh, um, paragraph over there about that. It's he says the Be'er Halacha quotes that there's different opinions that require that the minions stand on the platform.
Wow. It must have been a big platform.
Yeah.
So yeah, in an average shul, it's not, you don't really have such a thing. There's the platform, but it's not maybe it wasn't raised as much. Maybe the platforms that they're in our shuls today are not as high as this platform was in the days of Ezra. I don't know. There's an issue of the raised platform that Ezra stood constitute a separate domain from the surrounding courtyard. So therefore, it was necessary. So in order for there to be a Kriyas Torah B'tzibor, you would have to have a minyan in that same domain where the Torah was being read.
Right.
Okay, so that's interesting point. And this is another interesting point in our pasuk over here. The source, two different opinions about why it was that the people were. What does it mean that they were amdu kol ha'am? Does it mean that they stood silent, or does it mean that they stood? They stood up because that's what you're supposed to do for Kriyas Torah. This is a Mishnah.
Do both. You're supposed to stand and be silent.
Yeah, I mean, depending on depends on the shul, but there certainly are a lot of places where the majority of people do not stand by Kriyas Torah.
Right. Absolutely.
This is in Orach Chaim 146:4. Shulchan Aruch says that the tzibor is not required to stand during the Kriyas Torah, but the Ramah over there brings a dissenting opinion that it is required, and the Mishnah Berurah, I guess, over there comments. He doesn't tell us what the Mishnah Berurah says. I would like him to tell us what the Mishnah Berurah says, but okay, we can look. Well, look, not today. Unfortunately, there's not enough time for that. I would like to look that up. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Okay. Very good. Yesh kayak, Lou.
Oh yeah.
Good part to you too.
Thank you.
To everybody that took part.
Yeah. What a team. What a team.
Okay. All the best, Mayor.
Okay. Have a good day.